Hello everyone, this is David Locker from bngloans.com, and today I've put together a quick training about fast small business loans in which we're going to discuss the current market and talk about some of the things that you need to look out for, and we're also going to discuss the ideal scenario for funding your business and how to actually get there. So first things first, let's talk about the current market. Legitimate fast business loans, which are given generally to highly qualified businesses that have a strong financial foundation and are in a position to be approved quickly for a loan. And they usually have an established reputation with a particular financial institution or bank. Now, for these loans, lenders often have very stringent criteria for businesses that do not have that established reputation, which can prolong the lending process if they do qualify, taking away from the fast aspect of it quite a bit. These types of loans are also a target of advertising campaigns for alternative lending companies as they try to play on that fast aspect of, you entering in saying fast small business loans, you're searching for a quick solution. But we're going to talk about the certain cautionary things that you should look out for here on the next slide. So now we're going to cover the typical bank and traditional financing company criteria for fast small business loans, which is going to be, you need a 680 plus business credit score, a low 5 bank rating, which in order to acquire a low 5 bank rating, you need to maintain no less than $10,000 in your business bank account for a period of 90 days. That gives you a low 5 bank rating. Now, some banks and financing companies will, basically you'll be able to apply at that point and you meet their criteria, but other banks and traditional finance companies will actually require that you also maintain that for an additional 90 days. So it could be a 3-month period or it could be a 6-month period of maintaining no less than $10,000 in your business bank account. You also need to have responsible business bank account management, which is no insufficient funds or bounce checks. You need to have verifiable cash flow records, and they should be consistent. And then for startups, you need to have a detailed business plan, and then your personal credit score should be above 680 since the business credit is not yet established. Now, as far as things to look out for, when you're searching for a fast small business loan, you are sort of putting yourself in a position to be marketed to by predatory lenders. And it's unfortunate, but when business owners are in a rush, they oftentimes overlook bad terms because they're more focused on not getting denied because they can't afford to wait, which is understandable to an extent, but no one wants to be taken advantage of. And the sad truth is that alternative lending companies, they often charge excessive fees and higher interest rates than normal because they're saying, okay, well, we're going to give you fast approval and our criteria is more lenient than your traditional banks and finance companies. Now, the justification is based on mitigating their increased risk associated with this type of loan. That's why they hike their fees and their interest rates. And then their penalties is another thing that you need to look out for. So be careful of the alternative lending companies aggressively marketing the fast small business loans, but carrying those high interest rates and fees and penalties. Be sure that you request, in these cases, full disclosure of the fees and interest rates and penalties that are associated with the loan to be able to compare your potential profit margin as a direct result of the loan to how much you'll actually be paying. So, transparency is absolutely key here. So for setting the parameters, for your loan initially, first you need to know exactly how much you need. And then you need to be realistic in how much profit that you're going to make as a direct result of the loan funds. And then you need to be conservative and cutting that estimation in half to account for variable change. So knowing how much you need, how much it's going to profit you in a realistic estimation, and then you want to cut that figure in half. And if the cost of the loan is going to exceed 30% of half the estimated profit potential, then you should keep looking for better terms because we absolutely believe that you can find them, especially if you follow the criteria to create the ideal scenario, which we're about to talk about here in a second. All right, so next we wanted to discuss the ideal scenario. We receive a lot of questions about whether a specific loan or line of credit is the right financing decision for a business, and whether there would be other alternatives that would have better terms. Now, the answer to that question is difficult to predict given the variables on both the businesses and the lender's side. So we would like to propose a better question, which is what we feel business owners should be asking. And that's, how do I find the best loans or lines of credit with the best terms for my exact financial situation? Now, I know this may seem obvious, but if you've spent any time researching up to this point, then you know how vague financing companies can be when they're trying to get you to apply for a loan. And the reason is they don't want to deter you from applying. Lenders and financial advisors have quotas to meet, and the criteria is sometimes a little bit more lenient than, say other times of the month. So if they put hard criteria down on their application or their website, then they could lose the chance of you applying in the first place. And that leads to businesses applying to loans that they're not qualified for or wouldn't be a good option for their business, and then they're denied without much explanation as to why. So the solution to the problem is knowing your business's fundability from the start, and then understanding how it coincides with the specific lending criteria prior to applying for any loans or lines of credit. Now, this allows you to make the necessary adjustments to ensure that you're approved prior to ever applying. So we strongly recommend that you acquire your business fundability score. And you can do that by taking a short test that's available through our website at bngloans.com. And this is a no-cost test, and it's a lot like looking at the exam the day before you have to take it, so you know exactly what you need to study. Now, this isn't like a test in the true sense of the word or something that you have to study for, but we call it a test because it's a rating or a scoring of your business, if you will. And the study part comes when you're fixing any of the problems prior to needing to pass the lender's test when you actually apply for a loan or line of credit. Now, what the test does is it provides invaluable insight into your business's financial foundation. And it's going to allow you to see exactly what loans or lines of credit that you're pre-qualified for right now. And it does this all without creating an inquiry on your credit report. So if you were to go off and apply to a bunch of loans and lines of credit, that creates an inquiry on your credit report. And if you consistently do that, then it's a negative impact. So the unique advantage here is that you're going to see your business from a lender's perspective. And you're going to know if there's anything that should be corrected prior to ever applying for a loan or line of credit. Now, this creates the potential for that ideal scenario of having multiple funding options available to you where you can pick the best terms for your business's circumstance. And it's going to help you determine exactly how to achieve that scenario. But it all starts with the business fundability test, which you can access the test below the video. It's only going to take you about 10 minutes of your time, and it provides an extremely valuable resource for you getting the funding that you need. Now, we know your time is valuable, so we promise not to waste it. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I truly hope it has given you a great insight on your next steps to getting business funding. This is David Locker for BNG Loans, and we will see you on the inside.